Hello everyone, my name is Professor Wilson Kamami and my YouTube channel is also called Professor Wilson Kamami. This is where we simplify mathematics together. As you look at us today, this is our third video. Today we are focusing on statistics, especially group data. Now, on our first video, we looked at how we calculate the mean. And on our second video, we looked at how we calculate the mode. And now this is our video how we calculate variance and the standard deviation. So, as you can see, we are going to show you how we calculate the variance, which we represent with sigma squared, and the standard deviation, which we use sigma. So you realize that variance and the standard deviation, how are they related? You realize that standard deviation is a square root of variance. So in this case, what we are going to do, I'm going to show you how we get the variance. There are two methods that we can use to calculate the variance. There are two formulas. That is the first formula on how we get the variance. We said it is sigma squared will be equals to summation of x squared all over summation of f minus summation of f x all over summation of f. Everything that you are going to get, you get it squared. Also, you can use another formula where we are going to get the summation of f, the division between our x, our midpoint, and our mean squared, all over summation of f. As you can see from here, there are two methods. You can use this formula or you can use this one. So again, you need to understand that standard deviation, we say, is just the square root of variance. So what it means is that if you calculate variance, the standard deviation will just be the square root of our variance. So I'm going to show you how we get the variance. Then when we get that one, it's just we can get standard deviation easily. So I'm going to give you an example. We are going to take an example here. Remember, we are dealing with the group data, being our third video. So we have marks. Maybe you gave an exam out of 50, and therefore you expect 1 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, 31 to 40, and there are those who scored between 41 and 50. So there is a frequency. How many scored between 1 and 10? You realize we can use 3. We can have 8, 14, 16, and 09. So you realize that you gave an exam out of 50. 3 students scored between 1 and 10. 11 students scored between, 8 students scored between 11 and 20. 14 students scored between 21 and 30. 31 to 40, 16 students. And 41 to 50, you had 9 students. So how many students did you have? The total frequency? The total of F, you realize, is 50. You had a class of 50 students. So how do we go about that one? So remember, I want to solve my variance. So I need the summation of F. I've gotten the total of F, which is 50. I need the summation of Fx. So I need X in the first place. And when we are calculating mean, we say, how do we get X? We called it midpoint. I called it midpoint. How do we get of X? I will show you. Between 1 to 10, 1 to 10, how do we get the midpoint? You get 1 plus 10 all over 2. You will get it is 5.5. So I'm going to put 5.5. How do we get midpoint between 11 and 20? You realize it will be 11 plus 20 all over 2. And you get 15.5. So you are going to get 15.5. For this one, you are going to get 25.5. When you add that 1 and 40 and you divide by 2, you are going to get 35.5. And you are going to get 45.5. So when you have this one now, I will introduce what we call Fx. How do we get Fx? Fx is the product of f. Fx is the product of f times x. I want you to understand that when we want to get f of x, it is the product of f and x. So 3 times 5.5, you are going to get 16.5. So you have to get 8 times 15.5. What are you going to get? We are going to get 124. 14 times 25.5, we have to get the product of 14 and 25.5, you get 357. You can confirm, but the key point is how we get this one. Now 16 times 35.5, you are going to get 568, if I'm not wrong. And the last one now, 45.5 times 9, we are going to get 409.5. So we can get the total of fx, the total of this fx column. What is the total of that one? So when we get this one, I hope you are going to get 1475. So as you can see, we have f, we have x, we have introduced f of x. As you remember, when you are getting mean, it was just the total of f of x over total of f. How we are getting mean. Remember, I showed you how we get the mean. It was summation of x over summation of f. So it could just be 1475 over 50, which I think it will be 29.5. So that's how you are getting the mean. But today we are focusing on variance and standard deviation. So we have f and you have x. We have introduced x and f of x. I want to introduce now, based on my formula, f of x squared. F of x squared. And you need to understand another thing. If you are having fx squared, it is the same as f times x squared. So what you need to do, you get x squared, then you multiply by f. Or you can say it is fx times x. I like clarifying this one because I always see student confusing how we get f of x squared. It is f of x squared, it is only x that is squared, so it is f times x squared, or you can have fx times x, so that you can have fx squared. So I prefer this one. Personally, I prefer that one because already I have an x column and I have f of x column, so I don't need to, like this one, to square x and something like that. So I just take this one times this one to get f of x squared, this one times this one. So 5.5 times 16.5, you get it is 90.75. So again, you are going to take x times f of x. You multiply both this one and this one. We are going to get 1922. Again, we are going to take x times f of x. So this is the best way for you because we already have those columns. So it will make our work much easier. So in this case, we are going to get 9103.5 because of this 5. So 35.5, then you multiply by 562. So we are going to get 20,164. You can confirm. I want you people to be confirming when you multiply this one times this one. Don't worry, even though we make one error or some, but I think they are okay. Then 45.5 times 409 times 0.5. So we are going to get, I think, so 45 times 409, you are going to get 18,632.25, because 0.5, I know it will be 2.5. So what is the summation? So we need the total. We need this total of fx squared. What is the total of this column of this f of x squared? You are going to get it is 49,912.5. So that's how we are going to get. So it is easier. When you ask standard deviation and variance, you need to get midpoint, f of x, and f of x squared. And I've explained f of x, it is f times x. For f of x squared, it is x times that f of x. So you can see we have introduced 3 columns. So with this 3 columns now, we can use our formula. We can start with method 1. We said with method 1, where we said that it will be summation of f of x squared. So variance, summation of fx squared over summation of f minus summation of fx over summation of f. Everything here will be squared. So I just want to replace what is the total of f of x squared. The total of this one we had gotten is 49,912.25, no, 0.5. All over the summation, the total of f, we know the total frequency was 50. We had 50 students. Minus, this is like you are calculating mean. It is 1475 all over 50. Whatever we are going to get, we square. So when you get this one, we are going to get 49,912, which we are going 0.5, which we are going to divide by 50, and whatever we are going to get 998.25 minus this one. When you divide, you are going to get 29.5, which was our mean squared. So in this case, you are going to get 998.25 minus, when you square 29.5, you are going to get what we call 870.25. And when you calculate this one, the variance will be equals to what? 128. That is the variance. That's how we get the variance. So in this case, our variance, this is our variance, which we said is sigma squared, is 128. So if you want to get now the standard deviation, so SD, we said we can use sigma. It's just the square root of variance. So this one will be just the square root of 128, because we have already gotten the variance. So it just be the square root of 120. So I think that one will be 11 point something, 11.3137. So you can confirm that's how we get the variance and the standard deviation using what we call method 1. So we are just using this formula, summation of f of x squared over summation of f minus summation of f of x over f. Everything that we are getting here, we are going to square it. So that's how we get the variance. So now we can use method 2. Method 2 is all about this one again now. We are going to use this formula. But as you can see from this one, you may decide to solve this one, no problem now. But when you want to solve this one, when you need to use this formula, the only thing you not be having this column. But you need x, you need f of x, so that you can get x bar. Remember, my x bar at this point is the mean. Just like I have shown you here. How we get the mean? We need that mean. So what we need from here is very simple. I'm going to wrap this one and show you how we are going to get this one. So in this case, you realize that this column, we don't need this column. So what will happen with this one? We need summation of f times x minus x bar. So I need to introduce this column. I'll use a different color. So it will be x minus x bar that we are going to square. So what I'm going to do in that case, I'll be getting, remember I showed you how we get the mean. So in this case, you realize that our x bar is mean, which is the summation of f of x, the summation of f, which was 1,475. That was the total of f of x, and over f, which is 50. That's why we got 29.5. So what we are going to do, we are going to be getting our x. In this case, our x is the midpoint. Remember, x is the midpoint. So what we are going to be doing at this point, we are going to be getting 5.5. I will show you the first one, 5.5. Minus, what is my mean? 29.5. Then I square. So in this case, we are going to get 14 squared, which we are going to get as. So in this case, it will be equals to what? The next one, we are going to use the midpoint, which will be 15.5. We are subtracting our mean, 29.5, and whatever we are going to get, we are going to square it. I know it will be minus 14, I think, minus 14, but when you square, so this one will be minus, this was minus 24, sorry. So this one will be minus 14 squared. So what are we going to get? So in this case, again, 25.5, it will be 25.5. That we are subtracting 29.5. So in this case, we are going, but everything we are going to square. So we are going to get minus 4 that we are squaring. And again, that 5.5 minus 29.5 that we are going to square. I think this time we are going to get 6. 6. So it is 6 squared. Inside will be 6. So what are we going to get here? What are we going to get here? And the last one, it will be 45.5 minus 29.5. I think you are going to get, it will be 16 squared. So what are the values of this one? So you realize that minus 24 squared, we are going to get 576. 14 squared, we are going to get 196. Because remember the square root. No, the square of negative. Negative will disappear because it's negative times negative. So minus 4 squared, we are going to get it is 16. 6 squared, we are going to get it is 36. And for 16 squared, what are we going to get? We are going to get 226. If I'm not wrong, 226. So that is it. That is x minus x bar squared. So we need another column, which will be f x minus x bar squared. So in this case, what we are going to get, maybe I can call this one table A. I'm going to multiply with my f. So it will be A times f. So I'm going to get whatever I got here times my f. Whatever I got here times f, because it is f x minus x bar. So in this case, it will be a simple. I like showing how we got the first one. For this one, it will be just 576 times, what is the frequency? The frequency is 3. So what I'm going to get there? For this one, it will be just 196 times what is the frequency? 8. This one will be 16 times what is the frequency? 14. And this one, we got 36. And the frequency in this case was 16. And again, the last one was we got 226. In this case, the frequency was 9. So what are we going to get? 576 times 3, we are going to get 1728. 1728. Then we have what we call, we are having 196 times 8, we are going to get 1568, if I'm not wrong. Then we have 16 times 14, we have 224. 36 times 16, we have 576. 226, then we are having 226 times 9, we are going to get 2304. So we are going to get now the total. The total of this one. The total of f x minus x bar squared. So what will be the total? I hope those values are very clear to everyone. We are going to use 1728 plus, I hope they are okay, the values. You can cross-check. But when you get the summation here, we are going to get 6,400. 6,400. So that will be the summation, 6,400. So that is it, that is the value. Now, method 2 is simple. Method 2. We said it is just the summation. So it is the summation of f x minus x bar squared all over summation of f. You realize the total we have gotten, it is 6,400 all over what is the summation of f, the total of F was 50. And when you divide this one, you are going to get 128. The same value we got for our variance. So that's how we are going to get our variance. You can see the variance, because here the formula was for variance. We have gotten, it is 128. So that standard deviation will just be square root of 128, which we got was 11.3137. So you realize, regardless of the method that you are going to use, we are going to get the same value. Either you use this method, method 1, or use method 2. Both formula are supposed to give you the same variance. So it's upon to you as a student to determine which is the best method. My student, I always advocate the first method, because in that case you need 3 columns, x, f of x, and f of x squared. But you realize on this one you need x, f of x, and you need to add 2 more columns. That is of x minus x bar squared, and that of when you multiply now with f. So it is upon to you, but I always see majority prefer this one, other prefer this one. So it's upon to you to decide which is the best method. So that's how we get the variance and the standard deviation for group data. And thank you very much for watching. Keep on subscribing and recommending the channel for more, to your fellow students, so that we can simplify mathematics together. Our next video, we are going to look at how we get the mean deviation before we look at how we get the median and the quartile deviation. Thank you.